Ow. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
My mic sounds nice. Check one.
My mic sounds nice. Check 2.
My mic sounds nice. Check three. Are you to rock, y'all, to the beat, y'all. You know, and you don't stop. Rock it on. I keep rocking on. It was something like that. It was like the 80s. That was like the 80s remix of it.
I mean, we just gonna go with that. Like, I can't.
Like if I had the music playing in the background, like my brain would be like knowing all of the words. Like if you know how sometimes like if you ask me the words, I'd be like, I do not know that song. But then the music starts to be like.
But if we put it out there, that's the problem. If we put it out there, that's the problem is we can't play it. Because if we play it out there, then it's gonna be like we're gonna get struck for something.
Exactly.
Like, no, we're not doing that.
Right. For the 13 cents that we earn on this show.
Like, no, sir. Like that's not what we want to do.
Yeah, so that's how that's how I pay my mortgage. So
what the hell? Hello. I can't live in this mansion off of any other salary. Come on.
Exactly. You know, with that fabulous view out the back window there.
And in some sad news today, really, we had a body that was found down around the corner from my place of residence. And the sad part is it's on my trail that I normally walk, but it's the other side because I've walked it before, but I just didn't walk. I haven't walked it in a while because I was like, this is too much. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, plus there's no shade over there.
Is you affectionately call that the trade trail?
Well, no. So I live not far from the Green Line metro station stop. That's the plaza of the P's and the G's. Not far from there. And
so trade, you live, yeah, right. You're not far from Trade Plaza.
And then but then it's enough. Then I'm at the west side, at the west, at the west my town side. Mm-hmm. And if coming from my house, when I literally go to it, and when I get to where I'm ready to start walking, I either go right or I go left, and I always usually go left. And so to the right is the direction that they found that body. And this was earlier today. This was just some random person that was talking about it, but I saw the police cars and everything else. So I'm waiting to see if there was information on the news about it. But we just gonna see how that goes.
Right. Side note, Trade Plaza stepped their pussy up on the past couple of years because she used to be like a quarter step above Iverson Mall back in the day.
Well,
and she's no Tyson's Corner. But she did step her game up a little bit.
So it went from atrocious to just horrible. Is that what you're saying?
I will give it slightly better than horrible. Atrocious definitely was a good description, but it's better than horrible.
Well, okay, all right. Well, listen.
We will agree to leave that at the side.
Like we. That's all we got. That's all.
So we speaking French now, motherfucker.
That's all I got right now. I got nothing else. I can't do nothing else. I'm just gonna do we. That's all I got.
So as we get started, right before you tell me how your day went, right? I need an official. We need to argue about something, and we might not argue, but I want everyone involved to get into this official Bristolhood of the Traveling Fat Bitches argument. This is an official Bristolhood of the traveling fat bitches argument.
Argument.
Side one. Raising Cane's. The only good thing about Raising Cane's is the sauce. Side two. The sauce is mid and the chicken is delicious. What side are you taking, sir?
I don't know if I can take a side because I have not tried Raising Cane yet. So I will definitely say that I am not qualified to make any judgment on that. However, what I will say is, for the most part, I will take the judgment of any BTFB member. And so
that's the problem. That is the problem.
I will go with it.
Because my sister, I said, y'all, I told y'all, what's going on with my sister. So she came back from her regularly scheduled appointment today. And as a little treat for both of us, because neither one of us really need to be eating this shit on the regular. So Eccentric is on the other side. So let me just get there. But I said, as a treat, I'm going to bring us home some Raising Cane's. And I'm excited because there's a Raising Cane's in Union Station, so I can scoop it up fairly easy if I happen to be in Union Station, which I am at least once a week. So I have learned not to overdo it, so I just get the kitty pack, which is 2 tenders, a small fry, and a small drink. And so that is like perfect. But I decided this was going to be like my dinner. So I got the chicken and I brought it home. So I'm upstairs eating mine and she's downstairs eating hers. And I came downstairs excitedly, like, did you love it? Isn't it good? Isn't the sauce good? She's like, I like the chicken. I did not care for the sauce. And I was like,
wow. But now listen,
it was just like she just said it with her whole chest too. And I'm just like, what? Because for me, here's the thing. There is nothing spectacular or outstanding about the chicken that Raising Cane's does. Now, listen, it's not bad. I mean, it's perfectly fine chicken. It's tasty, but I'm not going out of my way for the chicken from Raising Cane's. For me, it's the sauce. And Eccentric apparently is on the other side because Eccentric says that the sauce is mid as fuck, and he's tried the other sauces with it, and it was way better. So, I mean, I guess everyone's allowed their own terrible opinion. Kendra,
that's how we doing it.
Everybody. Hey, Kendra, you'll be happy to know that other people agree with you that the sauce is mid.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta put that on the list because I honestly can't say that I have anything. But like I said, if you listen, as one of the original members of the BTFB, again, we have pretty much all been in a line with our thoughts on stuff. And we have pretty much gone through and tried like, okay, well, all right. There may have been a few questionable things like, like preference based. But, still, for the most part, I'll take it. So, I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot about it. I see a couple people in here that mentioned on, like, I saw Grace chimed in and she said she's like, I don't like their food. But, I mean, I also know that Grace doesn't like real spicy stuff. So, like, even hot sauce, she's like, oh, it's too hot. It's too spicy. I'm like, what?
What did you say?
Okay. But, okay.
Hold on one second. You'll be happy to know, Kendra, that other people share your terrible opinion that the chicken is good and the sauce is not all that good.
Good, great.
Hey, Kendra!
So, and hold on, let's see. Eccentric says it's a mix of Miracle Whip, ranch, and pepper with a sprinkle of Lawry's. I don't think it's Miracle Whip. I think it's mayonnaise, and I think it's some ketchup in there. So I feel like it's mayonnaise.
Like a budget mumbo sauce type of thing. Like that, what we doing?
No. It's much thicker. I want to say it's a Thousand Island based kind of in that it's mayonnaise and ketchup, but it doesn't taste anything like Thousand Island dressing. But no, it's to me is because if it was Miracle Whip, if it's Miracle Whip based, then I'm out on general principle. I used to like Miracle Whip when I was a child. Because like I used to love Miracle Whip and detest mayonnaise. But then as I got older, I was like, you know, you had that one time and like some shit just like switches up on you, and you was like, you know, you eat the sandwich like, why is it sweet though?
So listen, some of the biggest change up for me when Kentucky Fried Chicken got rid of their damn potato wedges.
Mm-hmm.
I've been they were on the downhill for me. They were just gone. I just because
and Grace says the chicken was okay and the sauce did absolutely nothing to make it better. And I am an official big back fat girl.
Listen, we always talk about these fat girl, fat boy treats, and so listen, and great. So I will give her that. And you talk about a treat. Listen, fat girl treats. We know fat girl treats. So I definitely we can do that.
You know when the biggest switch up for me, because Miracle Whip happened like in my teens or early preteens, because I feel like by the time I was like 13, I was like, Miracle Whip, it's a no for me. But the biggest switch up was in my 30s after I got really sick in the hospital, and I was in the hospital for like a week. And when I came home, my coworkers had got me like a little, like one of those Pepperidge Farm baskets with, you know, like summer sausage and shit in it. And it had olives in it. And up until that point, I hated, you put an olive in front of me and it was like, no. Baby, but after that, baby, the way I was fucking them olives up, and for a while, you know, when you first start liking something, you put in, baby, I was putting olives in everything.
Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and this is where we're gonna differ, because again, the taste buds are always great, but baby, me and the olive at this point in my life,
do you used to like them and now you don't, or you never liked them?
Listen, I never liked them, and I have you know, once again, our families, my mother. Listen, I went to go try these. And I thought I told the story. I went to go try these. We were at some buffet, or it was a kid somewhere. I don't know where we were, some place, and my mother was like, I went to go get these black olives. I was like, oh my God, I like these black olives. My mother was like, I don't know if you're gonna like those. And I was like, but Mom, so I started putting them all in this cup, in this little coffee cup or whatever. And I was just piling them in there. And my mother was like, well, why don't you just try one? I was like, no, I like them. She was like, okay, well, you gonna eat every last one of them. And I was like, Mom, I like olives. Baby, we got back to that table. I sat down across from my mother and I bit that first olive.
My mother got you all the way together, huh?
Listen, with a straight face, and she said, you better eat every last one of them. And then what made it worse, my stepfather's sitting right next to her. And listen, he was so fair, like he's very light, complex, very fair. When I say he was turning red from holding in the laughter, because here I go, I was sitting here like this. Oops. Oops. Oh, okay. Oops. Listen, comedy ensued, and olive, not so much.
Yeah. I am on the same page with Josh that it's Duke's mayonnaise all the way. Duke is the only mayonnaise for me.
So this is a fight, it seems like, with a lot of people. For me, I'm just like, what's on sale? Like that's just me. That's my opinion. Although I will say I'm not a Miracle Whip fan. So we talked about Duke's versus Hellman's versus Kraft's. Is it mayonnaise is on sale? That's how I feel, me personally. But I know some people that are like strictly Hellman's, strictly Duke's, strictly Kraft, like whatever. But for me, it's just mayonnaise. But I get it. I get it. Everybody has their preferences.
Yeah.
So
but, yes. You know. So how was your weekend, sir?
My weekend was great. I had a great time. We went to our little event on Saturday.
That was lots of fun.
It was lots of fun. And listen, I don't know if he tuned in here yet, but I'm calling you out. Listen, Maximus, you owe non-drinking heifer. You need to learn how to pull back from the liquor. But
his name is Maximus, and he is an alcoholic.
Baby, we went to this event, and it was a little gathering or whatever. We all sitting there. Everybody was having a good time. And shout out shout out to our brothers that came up from Richmond, Toth, who brought up that particular, or Thoth, who brought up that particular punch. Amazing. Like, it was really good.
Well, hold on 1 second. Hey, Love J 1814. He says, "Hey there, your channel came up in my suggested channels to watch. I thought I'd say hello." Well, hey, how are you?
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll stay a while, and like and subscribe. We are so happy to have you. We just here partying and bullshitting and talking about all things black, gay, kinky, and human.
Yes, but I just listen, the JJ 1814. So this is a Janet fan. I just want to, I don't know who you are, but listen, I got love. I got love.
Oh, is that what that's supposed to mean? Love Janet Jackson 1814?
I mean,
what's 1814? Oh, Rhythm Nation 1814. Okay, got it. Okay.
I'm just saying that's all. Listen, I'm right there. I can't see your face, but baby, I am there. Anytime you want to come in here.
Oh, so he's part of the genitalia as well?
I identify as a genetic. He may identify as a genetic, or she may identify as a genetic. I don't know. They may identify that, or they may just identify as a Jan fan, or Jan tribe, or J tribe. It don't make a difference. But we all in it
or genitalia.
We're all. Listen. I'm really not even opposed to the whole genitalia. Howsoever. But since we're on the topic, she has released her dates for her Las Vegas residency.
Oh, she did?
So, yes, she did. Dates, but I think there's some pre-sale orders and like American Express or something like that. But listen, I don't know what these prices look like. But again, I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, I got it. I got to figure it out.
Are they all in 2025? All right, it's headed back to Vegas for a new residency. Yeah. All right, 4 hours ago. You keep talking, and I'm about to look at these dates and see what it's giving.
Yeah, pictures are cute. They start in December. There's a New Year's Eve, and I've seen up to like February, but I don't think I saw anything past that. But I could be wrong. But again, I didn't see any prices. That's what I was looking for. But again, I'm looking for. But the pictures for the residency are kind of cute. She has a little yellow blazer, and she all with a little stocking on, and this little knotted mohawk. So listen, but again, that's my girl. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to her. So, but anyway, enough about that. But the weekend was good. It ended on a good note, very relaxing at some particular point. And then I realized that come 8 o'clock Monday morning, I would have to go up to the Black Degree Factory and deal with the nonsense there. And when I tell you it has been nothing but nonsense, because it was the first day of classes. And when I tell you it's a whole new meaning to, there's chaos, and then there's organized chaos. And then there's absolutely, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing with this type of chaos status. Because that's where we were. You have moved us out of where we were, which is a large open space, to accommodate these 5 or 6 different offices, to now go back into these offices, and they're on different sides of the campus, and the people are complaining. And here's the thing: we're in the building with the president. And so when the president tends to see people in the building that are kind of just all over the place, and even some of the board members, they just don't like it. They don't like the way it looks, because they feel like people are not being served. Mm-hmm. That didn't go over very well. And so then there was a shift that happened on Tuesday for the rest of the month, because it seems like you just had to have the right person to see what was going on with the nonsense. And that's where we kind of shifted at that particular point. But even still with that, it's been chaos. Unnecessary chaos, even today, with just my office and some of the stuff. And for anybody that ever does a schedule or any scheduling type of thing, listen, there's always going to be somebody that's not upset. I mean, there's always going to be somebody that's not happy and upset with how scheduling works. You try to please everybody, but you just can't meet every point or every want or every desire of every single person. And that's kind of where we were. But let it be one petty person. Let it be the petty person. The one that doesn't come anywhere on time, stay late.
Right. Always got shit to say, but don't ever do their work.
Don't want to do anything else. And then they always complain about everything else because they got so much stuff to do. And it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. Okay. But yet still you want to have all these stuff here. And I already know what your caseload is. Let me stop. I'm gonna go into that. I'm gonna come back out of that.
Woosah.
I done got a little irritated with that. But the end result was, and like I say this all the time, and I just said to you, or we were talking about this before, listen, tell me what your problem is. If I can fix it, let me fix it and move on. So I was told what the problem was. I fixed it. I just need someone to prove it. I moved on. I'm not even concerned about it anymore because I really don't even give a damn. I just don't. I don't care. That's where I'm at right now.
Touch the screen, baby. Touch the screen.
It's just,
touch the screen. Just touch the screen. Just touch the screen. Just touch the screen. Come on. Soon we'll be done. Troubles of the world.
Okay.
Troubles of the world.
I just can't.
Troubles of the world.
I just can't. I can't.
How soon we'll be done.
I can't.
Troubles of the world. I'm going home to live with God.
You had a moment with that, and I'm here.
You feel better now, don't you? You feel better, don't you?
You know, just all warm and bubbly inside now. Yep. Kind of like a
like gas.
Like a citrate in my system. You know, like a citrate is bubbling and get it together.
Like you ate some bad curry.
Right. Lola! No! Oh my God, Lola. Come on, Lola.
Tell your cat I said you're welcome.
But besides that, it's been okay. It's a lot of shifting and moving and just stuff that's going on. It's so much stuff that's going on. And I'm watching how people move, which is something that is really, really weird to me. But listen, I'm gonna go to work as long as they pay me, and that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, that's where we are right now. But for the most part, it's been it's been pretty okay. I haven't had too many issues. It's been a good week. Trying to get myself together for the weekend. Looking forward to some other stuff that's coming up this weekend, Onyx stuff, and just in general, just looking forward to downtown.
You got my text right. That joint is next weekend, not this weekend coming.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
because when you kept saying that, I was like, no, it is not. But then, when people keep saying shit often enough, you're like, well, bitch, is it this weekend? And I was like, no, it's the weekend of Labor Day. So that's good. That just means you got a whole nother week to get it together.
Listen, because whatever.
It was going to get what it's going to give.
It's going. Yeah, I was going to say it's going. Whether it was this week or next week, it's going to get what it's going to get. So that's where we at. However, see, that's what I'm talking about. Grace, what we didn't had this conversation. We done talked about this. I'll talk to you about this afterwards.
No, Josh, this is our bar night. It's on Saturday, not Sunday.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday.
So anyway, everything else is good or good as it can be.
Everything else is as good as it can be. I did have a moment. I had a moment last night, but we'll talk about that because we're going to get to that in some of the stories. But that's for me. That's how my week has been. How is your week and your weekend been? How's it been going? We heard Kendra in the background, so I'm glad to hear Kendra's voice. And I also saw her, so please tell her I do want that bonnet though. If she can find that, I do kind of want that bonnet. I think it was cute.
They just gave her that when she was in the hospital, so we'll have to take a picture and Google image match it.
Okay, I can work with that. So, but anyway, how was your week?
It's fine. We started. You already mentioned Kinky Game Night, so that was lots of fun. We laughed and we kikied and we laughed and we showed each other we played a little show and tell with our underwear and that was fun.
About that.
Yeah, it's lots of fun.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, normally I do not wear underwear at all, but I was like, I feel like there might be, when I say shenanigans, I don't mean it was going to be like a sex party shenanigans, but I felt like there was going to be like strip Uno or some shit like that. So I was like, let me go ahead and put on some drawers for this event, just in case.
That part.
And I ain't want to blind the kids by just whipping it out all of a sudden.
But I mean, there was a shenanigan or two. I'll say
that. There was shenanigans or two, because I'm the bitch that is observant, so I kept noticing movement out the corner of my eye, and I was like,
listen.
And this is not shade. I'm not mad about it in the slightest. It just I'm observant, so it's in my nature.
I felt that movement, or all that. Yeah, I felt all that, and then I was told about some stuff afterwards. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So, all right. So there is that, and then Monday, y'all remember when I, let my boss know my very specific feelings about various and sundry situations. I know I didn't get off the video.
You have your list.
My list. I'm holding on to these lists. And, so since that organization is what it is. And I knew that she was going to be petty and not speak to me. And on one hand, I was totally fine with it. But on the other hand, she is still the boss, and there's shit that she needs to handle. So I was like, we need to have a heart-to-heart. So we got to talking. And of course, nothing really got resolved because she really she did not hear what I was fully trying to say. But, I just needed us to be able to, someone needed to be the first person to speak to the other because we have shit that we need to do. And I said what the fuck I said. And I said what the fuck I said. And so, and I'm still, making moves and doing whatever. So that was that. So that conversation didn't really go. It went fine. I will just say that is there was no further nastiness or anything, but it was no real, like, I hear and acknowledge what you're saying, and I will strive to be different, which is what I would have wanted to have said. That was not said, but how people issue sort of a non-apology apology.
That would be the.
It was. Go ahead.
That would be the conversation when someone says they're sorry versus apologizing.
It was more, I'm sorry that you took it that way.
That is just passive aggressive slap in the face. As far as
exactly. And I was just, I did not come into the conversation expecting a lot, which is why I keep the list, because what's going to happen is, there's going to be like low key for the next couple of weeks, a month until the next craziness. But then I will not have forgotten, but I need to keep, like I told you, I need to keep these lists. So when I do, this is like my motivation. Okay. When, as I'm putting together the, my exit strategy, I need to be like, well, what the fuck am I mad about? Because again, like I said, I just be letting shit go too easily.
Well, again, so again, it's kind of like, well, and she may have even put her lips together to say that she apologized. Doesn't mean that she was sorry, but whatever. God.
Yeah. So it's a done now.
Yeah, it's okay.
So then that was that, and then so Tuesday, I had to take my sister to her first doctor's appointment. And I am very proud of her. She is, you've been in my house. Baby, I live in a house of stairs. You can't even get into the front door without going up a flight of stairs to get into my house. That's why the next house that I move into is going to be all on one level, because these knees, I do not have Meg Thee Stallion knees. And because I'm helping her, for every one time that she goes up the stairs, I have to go up 3 times.
Yep.
So I have to go upstairs before her. And this is, I swear to you, I'm not complaining because
it's an explanation of why you get the multiple. That's
all.
all.
Why my knees are sore. But it's not a complaint. I have to go up the stairs before her to bring certain things. Like I got to go upstairs before her to bring the walker up.
Right.
And then I have to come back downstairs. And then even if I'm not like right behind her, I generally don't like her to go upstairs because, you know, I'm always worst case scenario that I'm like, yeah, girl, just come on up the stairs, not here. Oh, Lord Jesus, I'm falling.
Oh, shoot.
Halfway down. Oh, Lord Jesus. So I'd rather be there and just spot her, even if I'm from the bottom of the stairs, spot her as she's going up. Because if she's getting stronger, I don't need to be like right behind her as she's going up the stairs. But still, so like every time she goes up the stairs, I got to go up it 3 times in order to manage everything. So baby, these knees is kneeing. So we go to the doctor. I had taken off. I actually didn't even take off. It was one of those like, girl, let me just keep this phone with me in case somebody asks me some questions, some bullshit. So we get there and So they should have called you. And immediately I was pissed off because I knew everything afterwards was going to piss me off. So they should have called you. The nurse, blah, 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 who was the nurse practitioner that my sister was going to see, today was supposed to be her last day, but she actually left 2 weeks ago. And
oh shit,
this facility doesn't take your insurance. And so I'm sitting there like,
yeah. So y'all was just women on the books and just not. I mean, like.
So when we booked the appointment, that woman had already quit. So she shouldn't even been an option because we were like, because you know it's a health maintenance organization, right? So you can choose a doctor, and then if you don't like President Donald John Trump, come on now. Yeah, we know that's not Donald Trump. I know that's somebody trying to be funny. But anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna leave it alone. But we will. So when we booked the appointment, that woman no longer even worked there. And then because they ask you all these questions, they want your medical insurance number, you know, all that stuff, and she provided all of that. And if they didn't take that insurance when she provided all that information, they should have been like, oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am, we don't take this insurance. And then we wouldn't have had to schlep all the way to fucking Georgetown in order to get this together. So then, you know, my sister, bless her heart, is much nicer than I am, as you might expect. So she's sitting there like, what are we going to do? I was like, Kendra, let's go. I said, let's go now, because these women at the counter clearly can't do shit for us. They work at an organization where they don't take this insurance, and they already fucked up because they were supposed to call us and all of this other stuff. And my sister has critical health needs that require her to be seen not in 6 months. That's why when we said we don't care who it is, just who is your first available, because that gets us in the system, and then we can do the research to find another one. You know, we need to get prescriptions refilled, but I don't want to put all of her business in the street, so I'm just giving round terms. So I was just like, since none of these people can help us, we just get the fuck back on the road and keep it moving. We don't need to be talking to these hoes at all. So then I needed to go to Harris Teeter to pick up my prescription. Terry, I really wanted to clear the room, but those women that was behind that desk, it was neither their job to call my sister, nor were they the ones that answered the phone when we made the initial appointment. So getting mad at them would have ultimately served no purpose. And I needed to leave out there before they became the focus of my ire in the moment. So then we get to Harris Teeter. And You know, I love people and I love black women. I love all of the black women who watch this show. But as y'all get older and y'all start to give less of a fuck about whose way you are in, you know how old black women will just be like you'll be in the cart in the grocery store with your cart, and they will just cut you off and not even look at you. So it's not even, and it's so they're not. It's not even purposeful, right? It's just an obliviousness to the fact that there are other bitches in this grocery store who need to move, and this woman just cut in front of me, and then they're walking all slow on the cart. You know how they lean on the cart, and I'm like and we're in an area of the store where you can't go around them. And then the last thing. So we get to the pharmacy, right? There are two windows in the pharmacy. One that says prescription drop off, and the one that says prescription pickup.
Yep.
You here to pick up?
You're at the pickup window, though, right?
And I'm like, bitch, I am standing at the fucking pickup window.
Okay. All right.
So I said, yes, I'm here to pick up. So she proceeds to slowly continue whatever the fuck it was she is doing while eating nacho flavored Doritos. Grabbing into the bag, eating the nacho, licking her fingers. Then she gets back to the terminal and then takes an inordinately long amount of time to finish. And I'm standing here this whole fucking time watching her slow walk the completion of this bag of Doritos, trying to hold it all in. But with every second that passed, my pressure was going up and up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up.
Baby.
I was like, let me just please get these prescriptions and get the fuck out of here, because I am done peopling for the day. I swear to you, I'm done peopling today. So that was my week. But overall, the week was fine. I am still irritated by how slow. So listen, I'm not here to say she can't have her little bag of Doritos, right? And if she was on a break, she should have just kept on doing whatever the fuck she was doing.
And not
that window. So here she is with her little bag of Doritos, right? She does this. You here to pick up?
And meanwhile, you sitting there looking at her like,
am I going to take you off the table and beat your ass, bitch?
But it's like, am I being punked? Is that what it is?
Right, are there cameras? Because this feels like a. Yes, those situations where people are just so disrespectful and so crazy. So you're like, this has to be a stunt, because you cannot be legitimately acting like this in front of people
and trying to get paid. No.
So maybe I got my little prescriptions, got my eggs, and dipped out of there because and then so it's either the old people not in the way or young people who don't know. Excuse me.
Well, but then on the flip side, people get to this, excuse me. Listen, I heard you the first time you said excuse me. I was unable to stop doing what I was doing, but I did hear you. But just because you said excuse me does not mean I need to stop at this particular moment. But give me 1 second. Because when you say excuse me, especially if I'm having a conversation, it does not mean I'm going to stop what I'm doing. Let me finish my sentence. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to get you in a second. But it's not instant. It's not excuse me. That's not how that works. But okay, I'm sorry.
No, Josh and Terry. This actually was the Harris Teeter at the Navy Yard. Yes. So anyway, let's get into some tickety talks and some other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just during the interview, and then they decided to reschedule the interview with me for tomorrow. But before they rescheduled, the lady was like, "Would you like to come back? Like to change and then come back?" And I was like, "No."
Not really hearing this.
I'll give you. This is as loud as it gets.
No, I saw it. I know what she's saying, but I'm just saying that people are not really hearing it.
So, for those of you who couldn't hear it, well, let me put it back on the screen and then go back and then just pause it. All right. So this woman, this is what she wore to an interview with a recruiter. And the recruiter was like, so you want to go home and put on some regular clothes and then come back? Or do you want to reschedule for tomorrow when you're going to wear some better clothes?
So when I saw this, I literally thought, were you doing a virtual interview and from the waist up?
I thought that she was doing a virtual interview too, but this was an in-person interview.
And then I thought about it and I said, well, wait a minute. If she thought that this was appropriate for a first impression for a job, I'm wondering what the job was. And then I'm also wondering what her experience has been with the types of jobs that she may have had. Because while I'm not saying this is not appropriate for work, it may not have been my first preference for male or female or anyone in general. But I definitely wouldn't have put that as an option for my own self, me personally.
So I don't think this was, and I'm not shitting on people that do retail, but she said this interview was with a recruiter, which means that this person was a headhunter to other jobs. This person has already coordinated or coordinated with the company on their requirements, and they're telling you that this look is not appropriate. And for you to be like, no, this is what I'm going to wear. I'd have been like, okay,
well, thank you so much for coming.
I would have just X her off the fucking list and then not even called her ass back.
Okay. Well, I
don't really know what to tell her because where I come from, there is just certain looks, and this ain't one of them.
Nope.
But all right, so there we are.
Mm.
And then so the next thing.
That I showed her, I wanted her to have, soft glam, very natural. She showed up looking the total opposite. So I'm here to get my money back.
Deanna, tell me why you're here today.
I was booked by Mr. Chris Easley to do a feature and a video, right? Listen, I don't know which Kelly Rowland he wanted. I gave the Kelly Rowland I had, okay? Maybe look Kelly Price. I booked the stylist. I showed up.
And there was a dilemma.
Yeah.
Quiet, please.
I'm sorry.
The first part is that she didn't even get that reference. But anyway, keep going.
I tried. I sent her a reference photo of how I wanted her to look.
Let me see that photo.
Of what I wanted her to look like. And she didn't look shit like that.
Were you dressing as Nelly?
Huh?
Was it like that, the vibe? Was you gonna be Nelly and she was like that, the vibe?
Quiet in court.
Dang, I'm sorry, Bridgerton.
So this is what he wanted you to look like.
Impossible.
So let me ask you something. What Kelly Rowland did you show up looking like?
I have pictures.
So did he ask you to look like Kelly Rowland or soft glam?
He said soft glam.
Oh, hell no.
Is this thing on? I just want to make sure. Ma'am, that may be glam. That may even be soft, depending on what it's sitting next to. But I don't think I've ever seen Kelly Rowland give any sort of look like this at all. I think this look is more probably urban glam, urban, maybe even anime-ish, possibly. But you look good though. Your makeup was good.
She looks good. I think you're right. If you were at a ball and the look was supposed to be who said it, soft and cunt, maybe depending on who you were standing on the stage next to, because Uber's thing looking quite harsh.
Think you might have needed another hormone shot. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you were standing next to that, then you might very well be very soft.
And because I was about to say, the funny thing is, depending on who's standing next to her, also she could look hard as hell, which she kind of. It's almost, but I mean, okay, whatever. Okay.
It's a lot. So God bless.
What is it? My girl says,
choices.
Exactly.
Shade is.
I want to know who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs.
I was upset because I didn't get to fully watch all of that because I had some Onyx stuff that was going on. But the clips that I've seen, and because through the clips I've seen almost the whole speech, just not necessarily in order. But she gave.
Baby, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that.
Oh yeah, I know it's in the thing. So we just got a few Instagrams to get into.
Stories that you would like to share.
I met somebody on Tagged and she said I had a great physique and I looked really fit. Do I like kids? I'm like, yeah, I love kids. Would I think about being a softball or a baseball coach? Guess so. We go on the first date, it's in the park, and she goes, I really love what you were saying about kids, and I want you to meet my son. And she goes and gets little kid, comes back, and like, no, this woman from Jack nothing. And I'm like, I can't say nothing because that's. Yes, you can. You can say something. No, I can't on the kid's mom in front of the kid. Go like, yo, I gotta get something out my car, and I get on my phone like, yo, I'm out, and this is crazy. Are you out of your mind? And she called me every name in the book. Yo, Shorty had a glove in his hand, and I'm like,
dating horse.
Oh, Lola says she knows him. Like perfect. Lola, what's tea, girl?
Because the funny thing is, at first glance, I thought that was Chalk, and I thought that or not Chalk. What's her face? Yes, Chalk Trey. That's what I thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So basically he went on a date and this girl was looking for someone to babysit her child. So she just found this random stranger on the interwebs to do that. So I just thought that was interesting. All right. So your choices are, you got to pick two: never get sick again, eat without gaining weight, never look older, or always happy and at peace. What are you choosing?
Always happy and at peace.
Oh, of course.
Is definitely one. Now, the only other thing that I would say, I don't really care about the older part, but I'm have to say somewhere in between the never getting sick again and eat without gaining weight. So that I think it would be between, for me, it'd be my second choice would be between A and B. I just can't figure out which one.
I'm going to say A and D because I mean, yeah, I would love to eat without gaining weight, but you know, in ultimately, if I could never be sick again, and for me, sick extends to like, you know, knees and kidneys and heart disease and your eyes, all that sort of shit. If I could never be sick and then always at peace, then, you know, I'd be great.
Yeah.
Greg said, oh, wait a minute, hold on now. We got to slide back because Lola says knows him from Weekend Reunion, which, you know, which I never actually made it to when they were out at BWI. Dylan says B and D, so eat without gaining weight and always happy and at peace. And Greg's, what did Greg say? Greg said A and C, never get sick again and never look older. He says, am I superficial? It's like, baby, but listen, those are legitimate choices. You know, listen, people are at different points in their lives and they value different things. You know, for me, the big thing is my health. So never getting sick again. And, you know, I'm a diabetic and, you know, certain things run in my family. And to know that that's one thing that I would never have to worry about would automatically give me peace in and of itself. So, and then always happy and at peace. Yes.
Yeah. That part right there is that's the first thing that I'm like, oh, that right there is the first thing. If I had to prioritize anything, I'm gonna put that right there. That's the first thing for me. And then whatever my second choice is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the never gaining, the eat without gaining weight, and also the never getting sick again. I mean, there are benefits to either one. And there's also, so for me, again, I just can't choose, but I get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're at different points.
Do you want to do this? Do you? Because I don't appreciate you keep throwing out these names. That is wait. What about my disrespect? I've been called. So who gets to correct her? Wait a minute. Calm down. Whether you agree with Ayanla or not, you cannot disrespect her. Tell her what you feel, but it's a way to do it, baby. So I'm not due respect. No, respect your elders. Let's go with what the word. You want to go with the word? I got this, Trina.
I didn't say anything, Mommy. I'm sorry.
We will. I'm telling you right darn now. You say one more word, and I got you. We will respect her. Do I make myself clear?
So my family operates differently because if my mother had been like, say one more word, and I'd have been like, oh, what? Because I am grown. And no, the way that my mother and father raised me, they raised me that you respect people because they give you respect, not because of how many times they have ridden this planet around the world. So first of all, my mother would have never said that. But if she had, I'd have been like, oh, what? Because no one is going to talk to me crazy out of the side of their neck. I don't care what our relationship are. And listen, I don't know the context of this, but I just don't appreciate the way that Tamar's mother was speaking to her as if, first of all, I don't like Iyanla. And Iyanla was hired as a therapist, not as an elder. So this isn't an elder invited in to mediate a family dispute. She was brought in as a therapist. And this is why I don't like Iyanla, because she wants to be a therapist when it's convenient for her. But whenever people start pushing back, she wants to be like, you know, I'm your mama, I'm your auntie, I'm the family member. No, girl, that's not how that works. So that triggered me, the way that Tamar's mother spoke to her. That was just triggering to me. Triggering is the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
Right. So for me, So I grew up in a household with parents, my mother in particular, that always said, you can say whatever it is you want to anybody. It's just a matter of how you say it, which is kind of what Miss E said just now. That's kind of what she said. However, at this old age of a half a century plus, if that's how I feel, and if I've tried to explain that to you on several occasions and I am frustrated, baby, you and anybody else in that room is going to get what you're going to get. I will apologize after I say what the fuck I have to say. That's what I might offer, but I'm not going to stop saying what I say. Would my mother have stopped me? She probably would have seen that I was pissed off already and probably would have stood back. Now, once we got out of that room, maybe she might have been like, listen, let's have this conversation. But I also see it from Miss Evelyn's perspective, where she was probably like, I am on national television with my child, and I feel like this is going to be a bad look on me as an older woman, and I'm raising my kids or whatever. Like, and again, not saying it's right or wrong, but I kind of thought about that from her perspective, where she might actually think that. But that's
the part that really annoyed me was when it wasn't there's a way to say. It wasn't, baby, there's a way to say whatever it is that you need to say. It was the respect your elders, which cut off the entire conversation. So it disregards whatever I'm feeling as another grown person in the moment, that I'm not allowed to have feelings, and that just because you are older than me, you get to say whatever the fuck you want, and I'm not allowed to have feelings about that nor express them. And so that was the part. It wasn't the, hey, baby, maybe you shouldn't be yelling at hoes on TV part, because I get that. But it was the, you aren't even allowed to say anything because she's your elder and so am I. And therefore you got to do exactly what I say that, fucked with me.
I can see that because, I think we grew up in an era and between our parents and our grandparents where it was like, whatever they say is right. And there's nothing that you can say as a child that's ever going to trump what I say because it's right.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part.
Yeah.
But was that triggering? I mean, I'm not triggering, but was that traumatic as a child? I think at that particular moment, because we were burning up and wanting to say something, yeah, it probably was. But again, as an adult, yeah, I don't know. But I think in my opinion, I think that her intentions were to still have that conversation with her to say, it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. And I think she got a little embarrassed for herself.
Right. And listen, we're seeing a snapshot in time, but I feel like that is probably, that whole respect your elders thing is something that has been said in that house on multiple occasions. And it's also fear-based parenting, which I wish that we, particularly as Black people, would move away from. Respect, parents are due respect because they do a lot for you, they've done a lot, but you shouldn't do things for anybody because you fear their repercussions. And you could tell that when the way that she was talking to Trina, Trina went back to 2 years old all of a sudden. It was like, wait a minute, I'm not a grown 40-year-old woman. I'm a 2-year-old being told, if you say one more goddamn thing. And I just don't like that for us, because we all you see it directly at the Black Degree Factory that doesn't raise good children, adults who are ready to cope with the world. So anywho, and listen, we can spend the whole next hour and a half talk about that shit. So let's just move on.
Oh my gosh, because woo. Okay.
So you don't like your hair?
No. Well, Taylor, your hair is nice. Like it's just shrinkage, Taylor. Like if you pull it down, it goes like Yeah, you got a little bob going on. It's the bob for me. You see it out there, bobbing freely.
Hey.
Stiff wear. Woo, stiff wear.
Stiff wear, girl. We swinging.
Word.
You're beautiful.
You are beautiful. You're
I never said I was ugly.
First of all, we got to pause there because Taylor said, "Bitch, I never said." I said I didn't like my hair.
That's all. That's
I
all.
never said I was ugly.
Like, baby, this mug is undeniable, honey. What are you talking about?
Look at this skin, honey. Touch this skin, honey. Touch all of this skin, bitch.
Haley, you look like such a big girl. Oh my god.
Okay then. That's almost a 40-inch bust down.
Period. A good 22.
With a little swoop. Okay then. She snapped.
Sweet girl of the freshman class. That part.
Not talk to.
Do a little shake. Do it.
What is wrong with this house?
Stiff wear.
Oh,
Period.
Gotta give you some dap for that one, bro.
Love it. I think this is the best.
So you don't like.
So I feel good for her, but I'm also concerned that she has so much not trauma, but negativity around her natural hair. Because girl, did she look fab at the end? But bitch, that is a lot of work to keep that bone straight every fucking day.
For me, now we've talked about this before, and I think everybody that knows me knows how I feel about this. I like the fact that if they're all siblings and they're all close in age, so they can all kind of laugh and joke at some things.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a different relationship. Like, I'm kind of jealous of people that have siblings that are like in that 2 to 5 year age difference. Y'all grew up around the same time, and y'all just have a great, in my opinion, y'all have like a great close relationship. Now, some of it might be
it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Some of that might be a little, a pinky in the brain or antagonistic at some particular point with some people.
Mm-hmm.
However, for the most part, when y'all laugh and joke about stuff, y'all laugh and joke about stuff. When y'all bond about, you know what I mean? So that, but again, that's been my experiences. And when I think about like families and like my own family, cousins and other, all their siblings and everything. So, but that's what I was looking. I thought that was fun, and it was good how I enjoyed it. And it was it made me happy just to see them like have a good moment.
Yes.
Sisters.
I saw this meme the other day where, having a sibling is like for like the first, 10 to 15 years, if y'all are close in age, you're like, I hate this motherfucker. I can't stand them. Oh, I can't stand them. And then one day it's like, I mean, you all right, I guess.
You all right. Yeah, you all right.
Because listen, that one over there in that room, growing up, it was like, wow, because we were only there's only 3 years separating us. And it was only really once, because we owe 3 years, there's only 3 years apart from us. She was always either in the exact same school that I was in, or ended up having the same teachers that I was in. So even like in middle school, there was no way for us to literally be in the same middle school, but at the same time. But when she would have eventually had all of the same teachers in the 7th and 8th grade that I did. And it wasn't until I went to a whole other high school on the other side of town, and she was able to be entirely on her own, that since we was out of each other's hair, that it started to be okay. And then it really got okay once I went away to college, because then, it was like,
Yep.
Then so it's just I know what you're saying, but it's funny because for everyone is different. You've got a big age gap, and so you wish for a small age gap. And then I look at others where like there's this one guy I'm sure you've seen it. This dude, he's kind of tall and slim, at least for his age. He's like 13, and his little sister is like 3.
Okay.
And I was like, that would be perfect, because that's just like a little doll that you can play with. And straight or gay, because that boy seems to be very straight. But the little girl idolizes her big brother and he gets to dote on her, but there's a big enough age difference that they're never in each other's way because she's never trying to do the same thing. They don't have the same friend group or anything. So, you always want whatever it is you don't have.
That's true. And again, knowing that, especially when you look at it that way, I know we would have had the same, a sibling that was closer in age. We probably would have had some of the same friends because again, it's the gay piece, it's the like piece, and just all that type of stuff. We probably would have had some overlapping, and there probably would have been some shenanigans going on at some particular point in that teenage year with something. So that could be hard. That could be hard as well.
Listen, I'm not even mad at this little baby because I have been there before.
Maybe in the past 2 weeks, I have felt all of that. So I'm like, listen. And even today, I felt that. I felt all of that. And then I had just said, you know what? I got to let this go. Because if I don't let this go, I'm going to hold on to this. And shit living in my head rent-free now, I don't like it. I don't like it.
That was how I was with the Dorito chick in the pharmacy.
Nope, I don't want that shit in my head.
About to get beat down just like this little action figure.
Yeah, I got to let stuff go.
And meanwhile, I got shit I need to do, so I don't need to be going to jail over, a 30-day prescription.
Hi, I'm Sissy G, and you may know me from Drag Race Philippines Season 6, Drag Race Philippines All-Stars Season 4, Drag Race All-Stars All Asia Season 3, RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World Season 11, Canada's Drag Race versus the World versus Marvel versus Capcom Season 4, and Drag Race Global All-Stars, All First Outs, All Teams, All Bottoms Edition Season 2. And I'm back again for the crown, because you know what they say, the 7th time is the charm. Hi.
The introduction alone.
The funniest part about this is that somebody tagged Jujubee. Jujubee said, "Why did you all call me out like this?" So that was hilarious to me. So last one.
I don't know what it is with the young boys. They want to throw stuff out, but they can't take it back. They can't take what they dish out. The young boy want to call me old. I say, what? Why you always got to call me old? He say, you is old. It's true. You is old. Okay, I'm old. Well, let me tell you a truth. Your grandma got good inside the mouth skin. That's true. You want to get mad? I'm telling you the truth. I found out on the trolley in 68. She got good inside the mouth skin. Now, it was all funny when you was telling me the truth. Now I'm telling you the truth. Stand on business. I thought we were standing on business. Stand on business, young man. Ask your granny. Ask about me. I don't know.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Good inside the mouth skin.
On a trolley in 68.
Ask your granny about me. Oh, mwah.
On a trolley. It's like the perfect read, the perfect.
Right, he didn't cuss.
It's non-violent.
He didn't say your grandma liked to suck dick. He said your grandma got good inside the mouth skin. Mwah. Sir, I salute you.
Yeah, like it's good. This is
that was top tier.
Yeah.
That was diabolical. I have no notes. All right. So with that,
listen, let's get on over because we talked. It was a tickety talk here, but the Democratic National Convention last night. Did you, and you said you didn't see a whole bunch of it. You were able to see.
No. I didn't see Michelle. I saw Barack.
Okay. Did you? So I got a little emotional last night watching it, because as they were going around to each of the states saying, how many votes are you, or how many delegates do you give, and it was just the anticipation and the buildup of each state and the way they were doing their presentations. I was just feeling very good because it was a very positive energy. Mm-hmm. It was fun. Like, it just felt like there was hope. I just felt like this overwhelming sense of like, it's gonna be okay. Like, I was having this moment.
Yes.
And it just felt good. But baby, when Michelle, well, first of all, there were several people. Angela also Brooks from Maryland. What's his name? Pritchard or Pritzky. I can't. The other he's a House of Representatives or Senator. I can't remember. Anyway, everyone that spoke, I thought they had a good opening and a good segue into Michelle and then ultimately Barack.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to point out, listen, their speeches, you can definitely go and look at them online and see everything about them. All I want to do, besides mentioning those people, I just want to mention these couple of things from each one of their speeches. And it's just a couple things. So listen, they did them in order. And so they had Michelle Obama first, and then Barack Obama came afterwards. And again, everybody else that was speaking spoke before them. And, it was a build-up all the way up to, Barack. Michelle Obama, one of the things she said was, as mentioned in that TikTok, who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs? That was the first thing. The second thing that she said, and none of these are in order, but that just these as they were coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
We will never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth. Then she said, if we bankrupt a business or choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance. If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
She also said, it's his same old kind, doubling down on ugly, misogynistic, racist lies as a substitute for real ideas and solutions that will actually make people's lives better. The next thing that she said, hope is making a comeback. Then she said, no matter how good we feel tonight or tomorrow or the next day, this is still going to be an uphill battle. So we cannot be our own worst enemies. And I'm going to end her part with something else that she said, which was do something. Those 7 points for me were absolutely amazing from her entire speech. Now, I'm not going to talk about the fact that Michelle Obama walked out on that stage with this nice little pantsuit on, or this little blue number with these long braids and this 1990s swoop across her head with the bang type of situation.
Yes.
And the braids going all the way down to her butt. Baby, I'm not going to talk about that because it was classic. But she looked good. I'm going to go ahead and mention that. Okay. But then Barack got up on the stage, and a couple things he said. The first thing was, I'm the only person stupid enough to speak after Michelle Obama. Because when I say she riled that crowd all the way up, baby, listen. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Because that's what Michelle did. He also said, we don't need 4 more years of bluster and chaos. We've seen that movie, and we all know that the sequel's usually worse.
Yes. And I saw most of his speech.
Right. The other thing that he said when he was referencing Waltz, he said, you can tell those flannel shirts he wears don't come from some political consultant. They come from his closet, and they have been through some stuff.
Yes.
Then he said, here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago.
Yep.
Another thing that he said was, it has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. And the last thing that he said, and he had a little motion in there, He said his fixation with childish nicknames and his crazy conspiracy theories and this weird obsession with crowd sizes. But then he did the hand gesture. Right. The hand
Yeah, he
gesture.
did that. I was like, shade.
You have peed all over this. So listen, the Obamas for me have peed all over the Democratic National Convention.
He did. And you know, it's funny, talking about Tim Walz for a second, I saw somebody say that the reason that some of them hate Tim Walz, because it shows that you can be an older, straight, white man and not be a total dick.
Listen.
You can
say it again for the people in the background so they can hear you, even the ones up in the cheap seats. Say it again, please.
You can be an older, heterosexual, white male and not be a total ass. He is a huge friend of the LGBTQ plus community. You know, he believes in a woman's right to choose and, you know, so many other things. So, you know, that's the thing, you know, all of these people who say, oh, well, you know, it's a you know, the straight white man is in danger. It's like, no, girl, no one's trying to take away your ability. No one's trying to convert you, you know, or make you. We don't want to know what your inside mouth skin feels like, you know, but there's possible to be who you are without shitting on everybody who isn't like you. Anyway, keep going.
Absolutely. So listen, Urban Bell magazine had this article about Jennifer Williams from.
I had to look up because I don't know who the fuck Jennifer Williams is.
So Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives, she is
it still doesn't clarify that for me, but sure.
She's one of the only women on that show that literally got smacked around by her husband.
Oh, she really got beat up? Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
It was let me not say smacked around. He actually threw the drink in her face, if I remember correctly. That's how it went down. But anyway, and she's also and besides Tammy Roman, who was on there bullying everybody, her and Evelyn were the best of friends, and then Evelyn and her fell out as well. But that's it. But anyway, so Jennifer Williams, she's found this new guy that she's supposed to be marrying, her fiance Christian Gold, and they're supposed to be getting married in Paris. Now, Christian has a past, and he's talked about his past on his show. He blocked his ex-girlfriend from leaving his place after they had a dispute. And then there were some court documents that shows that she had to receive medical treatment at a hospital, and he's on probation, but you know, he's supposed to have restitution and all sorts of stuff for a couple different things, and this is one of them. Now, on the show, he also talked about that the restitution was nearly like $250,000. But then some of the fans for the show have also said that they only found his restitution was listed as $12,500 in court. So their concern is that he's after Jennifer's money.
Mm-hmm. What kind of money Jennifer got?
She's also the ex-wife of somebody that
Basketball Wives. Okay, got it. So she's the ex of a basketball.
Whether she was actually married to him or not, they were together for a very long time, which is another thing that qualified her for the show. Okay.
Gotcha.
The thing is, he's on the show, and one of the things that they talked about was that he lied to his probation officer because, again, he's on probation for this last thing that I was talking about, and maybe a few other things. Not quite sure if all the information is out there, but he's on probation for whatever. And when he's on probation, he's not supposed to travel. Well, in July, he traveled with Jennifer to California, Italy, and Switzerland. And then when the probation officer contacted him in July on the 22nd to inquire if he left Georgia, because that's where he's supposed to be, he allegedly told the officer that he was in Lake Oconee for a wedding and had been there for the previous 2 days before contact. Listen, DeKalb County, Georgia sent out a warrant for his arrest, and neither Christian or Jennifer has responded to the warrant. But here's the thing. Baby, you on television. I don't know if anybody ever told you this, but baby, everybody watches. And so if you trying to hide from somebody or trying to hide something or baby, that may not be the place to do that. And so and you probably can check with your probation officer since you left out of town, because I could have sworn that if you're on probation, you're not supposed to leave the jurisdiction. But okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. We talked about this last week on the show, and about Jordan Childs, and so we know that there's controversy about the scoring and how they were rated, and the fact that she was one of the 3 women that was on the pedestal that was all African American between. Well, I'm not saying African American. They were all of African descent. So Simone Biles, Jordan Childs, and the one, what is her name? I can't think of the third girl's name. But the 3 women that were on the platform as the first, second, and third for gymnastics during the Olympics. But it later came out that there was controversy about the scoring and how things were rated, and so she was to be stripped of her medal, her bronze medal in this event. Well, Flavor Flav had heard about it, and he's also been in the news, and he's been, showing his support for the Olympics and all these other things. And he was quoted as saying, one of the best feelings that an athlete can have is when they're winning or when they won something. And so he said he's quite sure that Jordan Childs and any other athlete that ever went through that, that he knows that it was a devastating feeling. And he knows how devastating that feeling could be. And so what he did was he collaborated with his clockmaker to create a custom bronze-studded version of his signature clock. And so the intention, he stated, is not to replace the medal, but to rather offer it as a gesture to demonstrate that she's highly respected for her talent. Well, in still talking about Jordan, the thing is, there's been, like I said, the controversy going back and forth. And while the Romanian gymnast Ana Barbosu was formally awarded the bronze medal in the floor exercise that was originally for Jordan to have, Jordan has no plans to return the bronze medal, according to Essence magazine. Now, there was also a news article in USA Today Sports where from 2 sources that wanted to remain anonymous. And like I said, they confirmed that there's no plans to return the medals. Now, some of the developments that have happened have to do with the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and also the International Olympic Committee, and then the International Gymnastics Federation. Like, there's controversy between all 3 of these organizations. The FIG, which is the International Gymnastics Federation, adjusted the ranking based on the Court of Arbitration for Sport, or CAS, award, which is binding on all the parties. And the IOC said in a statement that while challenging the Swiss Federal Supreme Court is still possible, the CAS award is immediately enforceable, and Miss Barbosu is entitled to receive the bronze medal. Now, the Romanian Federation of Gymnasts, awarded her the medal in a special ceremony, and publicly stressed that their appeal for the decision was never done with the intent to strip Childs of the medal that she earned. In their resolution, they requested that both Barbosu and Childs share a bronze due to the error in judging. FRG said they never agreed on taking away a medal. What did you think was going to happen?
No, but I recall when they said up front, they were like, because it's sort of fucked up, they should both get a medal, and America was like, no, girl, because we won fair and square. But I agreed. It was like, listen, girl, unless y'all compel me to return this medal, I'm not returning it.
But my whole thing is, even if we got to that point where you said the scoring was off, you're saying that legitimately she did not earn it, and you said that legitimately your person did. What did you think was going to happen by you saying that you didn't want to take the medal away from her? What did you think?
Right.
But I digress. Maybe I'm looking at that the wrong way. Next story that I found in Rolling Stones. So Beyonce has threatened to send a cease and desist to Trump and his campaign after he posted a clip of her Freedom, which is Kamala Harris's unofficial campaign song, in a video on social media. Now, a source close to Beyonce tells Rolling Stone that the Trump campaign did not receive permission to use the Lemonade track in the 13-second video of Trump getting off a plane in Michigan. But Harris has been using Freedom with Beyonce's permission since her presidential campaign began earlier this summer. Trump, meanwhile, is notorious for using music at his campaign rallies.
Right. Why would they even, I don't want to I guess it's a generalization, but I would imagine that a lot of there are a number of his supporters who don't. I mean, this whole country music shit has already proven that they're not into Beyonce. So why would they do that? And you would think that they would have learned from the past. It was like, girl, just stick to Kid Rock music, because he's the only one that'll let you use his shit.
I think it was Miley that had an issue, and then a Dolly part. Did Dolly have an issue? It was a couple people that had issues, but again, listen, this is where we are. I just want to point out that since we're talking about this Democratic National Convention and it's a couple people, listen, as I'm mentioning birthdays, listen, Auntie Maxine, Miss Maxine Moore Waters turned 86 on the 15th of August.
Good for her.
Looks great. Actor Patty McCormick from Frost Nixon and also from The Ropers is 79. Loretta Devine, Boston Public, Dream Girl Original, 75. Kim Cattrall turns 68. Carrie Ann Moss is 54. Alicia Witt turns 49. Khalees is 45. Usain Bolt is 38. Country singer Casey Musgraves turns 36. Actress Hayden Panettiere turns 35. You all remember her from Heroes?
Yes.
Some other birthdays that would have been during this week.
Save the world.
You said what?
Save the cheerleader. Save the world.
George Bugs Moran, who's a gangster, he had a birthday. William Count Basie had a birthday. Jack Buck, who was a sports announcer, had a birthday. Will Chamberlain had a birthday. Listen, this week has been a couple of famous people, so I just wanted to point all those people out. Last but not least, social media slaves. Listen, I felt like the clip that was just shown earlier about Mrs. Obama, Michelle, who talked about one of those black jobs. Listen, that was my only social media slave for the week, and baby, I am happy for that because it summed up how I feel about this whole ordeal of running for this presidential seat.
Yes. I'm definitely going to start contributing next week and make it a bi-weekly thing. I mean, I ain't giving like millions of dollars, but I feel like I can do, $50 to $100 every 2 weeks.
I'm gonna go ahead and make my donation again, and that's what I'm doing. Listen,
it might be $50, but they were like, and then I got a text. It was like, "Are you willing to volunteer?" And I'm like,
so some of our Facebook friends have volunteered. I saw.
I got to define. I need you to tell me. You need to define what volunteer means to me. Because if volunteer means working at the headquarters, maybe doing something, then maybe. But I'm not going out. I'm not knocking on doors. And then also, I live in DC, so my vote don't count as much anyway. So until I get a real listen, I love not Maxine Water. What's her name?
Who are we talking about?
The representative from DC.
AOC?
No, from DC.
I'm having a brain fart.
Until we get like a representative who is DC representative. DC representation in Congress. Shit, what is that woman's name?
These are my
Eleanor Holmes Norton. But she can be on committees and do stuff, but she doesn't get like a regular vote. And like we don't have 2 senators. So until I get my senators and my other shit, then I'm gonna help out. But plus, the one electoral vote that Kamala Harris was gonna get from DC was never in doubt.
Listen, I don't know. Nothing has been surprising me lately, and I'm trying not to get all emotional about it, but nothing has been surprising me. Like you could have never told me that we would be at this point where we have overturned a woman's right to govern her body.
Right.
Like, nothing in my, I would have never imagined this in my life. Never.
And that a woman on the Supreme Court voted for it. Because, you know, the women in those positions know that the rules will never really apply to them. So the women that told their heartbreaking stories on, did you watch those? On the first day, like the one couple who were, you know, they wouldn't let this woman have an abortion, so she just had to sort of wait until she went into sepsis. And then it went from, if you had this abortion now, unfortunately, you're going to lose this baby, but you know, you'll be okay, to, since you won't have this abortion, you got to wait until this, I don't want to be too graphic, but until this dead mass of flesh inside of you makes you so sick that now we have to take it out to save your life. But when you do that, you're now running the risk of having complications.
Absolutely. And that was one of the, in the last night when they were introducing each of the states and they were talking about the voting, a couple people talked about that. And one woman in particular literally said, I live in a state where I can know where I'm not allowed to have an abortion, even if it is to save my life. And she said, I had to move so that I could take care of myself, so that it would allow me to actually have a successful pregnancy, which I'm currently having, and I am due in January.
I remember that because she said when they told her that something was wrong with the baby, the doctor sort of slipped her a Post-it note, because he couldn't literally just say, go get an abortion. He had to underhandedly slip her a Post-it note of a clinic that was just across the border.
Yeah, the way she said it was she moved. I think that's what I remember her saying. Or maybe she said she made a move. I'm not sure. But again,
I thought she said she made a move. So in other words, she didn't move permanently out of the state, but she did what she needed to do to go get an abortion.
And that was the thing. Just like with that example that you talked about earlier, right? I mean, just now, if, you know, had she tried to carry to term, it would have caused complications for her to have a future pregnancy. And
yes,
so
that was it.
Yeah,
so right. So not only was she risking her life by carrying that baby, she was risking her future ability to have children by not having an abortion.
Right. And so that's the part for me. Like, again, and
then the other one, the young woman who says that when she was 12 years old, she was raped by her stepfather. And if she had, you know, if that had been, I mean, this woman is older now. She looks like she's in her mid-20s or whatever. But if she lived, if she had been a 12-year-old girl now, she might have been forced, just like that 10-year-old girl was, forced to carry the child of her rapist. And then in this case, I think that woman said, you know, what kind of world where is it moral and right for you to have to give birth to your parents' child?
Thank you, Greg, because that's kind of where I'm at. Well, I'm sorry. What you just said, or what your comment is, have no part. I think that men, while it does take a man and a woman to make a child, I think that men should not have the final decision on a woman's right.
I think you should definitely consult if you all are in a couple or whatever. But ultimately, whether I'm aligned to having the child or not, it's not up to me, because I'm not the one that's gotta carry this child for 9 months.
That is just.
And men should definitely not be the ones making the laws about this. So
yeah, he's talking about the legality. Okay, so, and again, I feel the same way, because I do feel like, again, two people make a child, and so you should, if you are a couple, you should have that conversation and figure out what it is. But I definitely don't feel like you have the final say in this particular. I just it's over something.
If we had a better healthcare system, you know, a lot of men ain't shit. That's aren't there. A lot of people are just young and aren't ready to be parents. If we had a better healthcare system, then abortion would go from this charged political thing to a healthcare decision. And in a system with good healthcare, then you wouldn't have to suddenly find hundreds of dollars to carry out this procedure. Well, because I honestly don't think that, we would suddenly see like women rushing to get abortions. And some people probably would, but again, that's entirely their choice. I often thought about, if I ever got a girl pregnant, and I'm being very serious here. I know that if I told my parents, they would be pissed for the impact that it would have on my future. But I know that ultimately my mother and father would have been excited to have a grandchild after they got over that. There would have never been a moment where they were like, well, you got to get the fuck out, or none of that foolishness. I know that in my heart of hearts. There are a lot of people who do not live in that world, who, if a girl gets pregnant, they're like, well, you want to be grown, you got to get the fuck out. Their first words are, I'm not raising this baby, and all kinds of other stuff. So, or you already poor, and babies are expensive as shit. That's why when I see like someone like, listen, anybody can slip around and fuck around and do whatever like the first time, but I feel like the way that I would keep my dick in my pants if I was 19 and got a child and they're taking a third of my salary or whatever for this child, the way I would keep my dick in my pants.
Maybe, I've said this before. I believe I have no factual anything, and I've never even asked them about this, but I remember a young lady that I was dating, and I know her. I remembered her. I remember how she thought. I remember how she moved. And I believe that at some particular point that it did happen. But I also believe that because she made that decision, that without even me being involved, I believe it happened. And I believed it was the best decision for both of us, even if she did. And I don't know this 100%, but I just remember what we were doing and how we were doing, doing a lot of it. So that's just where I'm feeling. I very well could be wrong, but I do believe that has happened. And it's like, well, okay. Listen, I certainly at that time was not ready. And I know you definitely have to grow up, but like you said, the reality of life is what my parents would have definitely made me feel. But would they would have absolutely been overjoyed about having a grandchild, because she doesn't have any at this particular point. But like, no, because for me, my whole life would have been absolutely different. And I know it because their viewpoints on these things would have been, well, okay, you can't go nowhere. You got to stay here. You need support. You got to do this, that, and other. You got to stay right here.
Right. And this whole, so I thought I'd leave the baby with you. Girl, this is your child.
And listen,
I'm the grandmother, so I will babysit occasionally, but don't include me in your regular babysitting plan, because that's not my ministry.
And the funny thing is, my mother, listen, when I say loves kids, like she's that, like, oh my God, like she's that woman. Up until they're around like 8, 9-ish. 7, 8, 9 is around that time. She's like, but as babies, listen, you ain't listen. That come on over here. Listen, she loves the kids. And I see her like, I would see her energy and all. But baby, after that, she's like, okay, you a little too grown. I can't. Go on.
She like it as long as they can't talk back but so much.
Maybe listen, she would have, but that teenage years and all of that. Oh no.
Like, all right, you got too much mouth now, so going back to your mama.
But the babies, oh yeah. And listen, I wouldn't have worried about no clothes, I wouldn't have worried about no crib, I wouldn't have worried, because that's just what she like. Oh, we got to get the baby's hair done, we got to get the shoes, okay, girl, you're doing too much. I don't want to. But again, my life still would have been different, because it would have been like, well, yes, all this is for the child, but for you need to get a job where you earning some money. You need to stay here. You need to find someplace. Like, you can't go nowhere out of it. You can't. Don't take no risk. You got this child to think about. You ain't risking that. You risk your ass on a job.
The way that I was watching a video on Instagram, and this guy, the caption of the video says that this man worked 3 jobs in order to buy his daughter dress. And I was like, Jesus Christ, how much are you making at each of these 3 jobs? I mean, listen, prom dresses are not cheap, but they aren't that expensive. So if you got to work 3 jobs to make enough money for that dress, and I know that sounds elitist as hell, but I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
He was working because I remember seeing this video of that excursion, of that particular instance. And I remember him working at some sort of fast food restaurant as one of them. So I don't know what the other jobs are. And listen, the other part of that too is, listen, we don't know what people's jobs is paying. We don't know what they got to do for their money. We don't know. Like, people make do with what they got going on. And listen, I felt it, because when he pulled that dress out and you saw the look on her face, I see why that it showed me exactly why people make the sacrifices that they do for their children, because the joy on that little girl's face when he pulled that dress out, unzipped that bag, and she was just like, I was like, oh my God. Like, okay.
Right. And so I get that. It's just like, like so many other things, when your parents are like, pay attention in school. I was like, girl, this is why, because you don't want to be trying to, you got to take on 3 extra jobs to scare up a little extra change. So,
yeah.
Last thing I want to say is that I saw a picture, and maybe I can find it, of Omarosa today.
I'm not going to say I dislike her.
No, I do.
I feel like I'm concerned for her well-being. And I think it's because I feel like there's something a little off. And I feel like she needs to have a little bit of counseling for something. And I just I can't put my finger on it. Like, there's something that's just a little off. Just a little off. But,
So this was the picture from today. She was at the DNC, and the caption says, "HU, well, I'm not. I'm going to just read the words. I don't go to H Howard, so I'm not going to say it like this. But then the hashtag is HBCU Pride, and I'm like, girl, you don't support nothing about Negroes, so if you don't get the fuck on up out of here."
So wait a minute, let me back up. Now, why did I not know
that she went to Howard? I didn't know that either. But my point is
because listen, that particular institution will acknowledge just about everybody,
no matter how problematic.
And you mean to tell me that this? Okay, well, I mean, listen.
My point is that everybody want to shine, and it's also, my thing is, all right, I don't want anybody to be black that doesn't want to be black, that doesn't want to share in the common joys and struggles that we have. And I remember this woman saying to other black people that we needed to literally bow down before Donald Trump and all this other bullshit. So, girl, you out there on that reservation all by yourself. You and Patrick Denard, you know, the one that got clowned about eating at the Cheesecake Factory. So, listen, you girls are out there on your own. So, you may be of African descent, but you are not black. I'm not claiming you. I'm not riding for you. If it's the apocalypse, I will pick up listen. If there is a boat with room for every Negro, every black person on this planet, I will make sure there is not room for you on this boat because you ain't never rode with us before. So why should we ride with you now?
And she did. She got a master.
She got her Negro wake up call, but listen.
She got her master's from there, and I'm like, okay, great. I mean,
but you know, sometimes I feel like you say crazy shit and you say stuff to be provocative. Then you want to, you know, she's doing the same shit that what's Forehead's name?
Which forehead? There's like 9.
Candace Owens. You know, when she went on her Negro apology tour, and we was all supposed to be like, oh,
now,
you know,
I do not like Candace Owens.
I don't fucks with Candace Owens. Listen, I will pick up Omarosa before I picked up Candace.
And
Owens.
I was going to say, I think I'd rather sit down with Omarosa before I sat down with Candace Owens. I do not like Candace Owens at all.
Candace, what did Nene say? I would not spit on her if she was on fire.
Yeah, I just, you know, I don't.
Lola said, I did the calculations. My $500 prom dress in 1989 will be $1,200 today. Jesus Christ, that was a lot of money to spend on a prom dress in 1989. But I don't know. I have no idea what any of the women that I hung out with in 1989 spent on their prom dress. Because I know that I rented my tuxedo and that girl cost like $100.
Excuse me, my shoes cost $300. And I remember that very clearly because I wanted these black Bally's and I got them and they were $300. So I know damn well.
I was fat with a poor self-image, so I just wanted to look halfway decent. And so I rented a tux that came with the shoes and everything. And everybody said I looked really good because, you know, I had just got my hair did and everything. But yeah, no.
Listen, I have always gone up and down, fat, thin, skinny, fat, whatever you want to call it. But baby, what I did know is I did know that I wanted them shoes, and I did know I wanted to put that rented tux on, and I looked really goddamn good when I walked out there.
Do you have a picture?
I do have a picture. I have
so next week we want to see prom pictures. I'm gonna bring my prom pictures too.
Okay. I wonder if I still have. I have to look on my. I have to look for, but I do have it. I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into some bean footage.
Yes, indeedy.
It's been a lovely, fun evening. I have enjoyed myself because, you know, baby, when I got back home and after I ate all that chicken and them fries and everything, I was on that sofa relaxing and I was like, shit, I got to get up for this show.
And, you know, it's so funny. I just realized tomorrow will be my 2-year anniversary back at the Black Creek.
Congratulations! I thought it would have been me.
2 years to the day. And I'm sitting there thinking like, this. I remember coming in during this time of year and the chaos that was going on. And then I'm like, here we are once again back in the same chaos. But okay.
I am once again with barbecue sauce on my titties. Any last words for the people?
Listen. Lola said you just put my cat up again. Lola, listen, baby, you have to bring this cat. We need a picture of this cat. I need to see what's going on, or a video or something. Because I'm feeling sorry for the cat, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But anyway, listen, be nice to yourself. Because if you're nice to yourself, it'll help you to be nicer to others. That's all I got.
Be very demure, very cutesy. Don't do too much. When I first saw that, I was like, what the fuck? Because it just randomly started showing up on my screen. And then I saw the original and I was like, okay, great. And I'm actually glad for this woman because it's what she's a trans woman. And because of the notoriety and whatever little coin she made from it, it allowed her to fund her transition. So I'm very happy for her. But girl, everybody, their mother was using that little soundbite in ways that didn't even make sense. So I was so over it, like in 2 days.
So I have a question though before we go. The one about give me my money. What I'm confused. I don't understand what that is. Like
it's you know who Rolling Ray is?
I know who Rolling Ray is.
He went somewhere in DC and got some food, and he was like, "It's not even giving what it was supposed to give. I want it's not." So he said, "I want my money" or something like that. That's where the whole "it's not even giving what it was supposed to give."
I got that part.
He said that.
But it's the money. But I'm just like, what? And then when people do it, it's like 3 or 4
he
people.
Said, no, I wasted my money.
But then when you see people do like the 4 or 5 people that do it, and the last person, everybody's quiet. I'm like,
what? Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that part. Or maybe I haven't. I just
like, I'm like, what am I getting? Like, I don't understand that. They're like, I don't know. I don't know. It just, I'm a little confused. Do y'all know what I'm talking about when about this, the money part? Like, I don't know. It's I streamed them through TV and he sits by the TV.
All right, well, this will take him out. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good